welcome back to Whispers in the Dark. Tonight, we are heading deep into a stretch of rural woodland where the road runs too fast, the nights feel too quiet, and the trees seem to listen. A family moves into an old house on the edge of the forest, hoping for peace and a fresh start. But there is something hidden beyond the tree line, a path the locals avoid, a place where grief and love blur together. And once you step onto that path, the ground may decide it wants something from you in return. Now let's begin. The first thing the Fowlers noticed about the rural town of Ludlow, Maine, was the silence. Not the pleasant, roomy quiet of open country. Not the gentle hush of snow settling on pine needles. This was a silence that felt arranged, as if the world had learned the wrong lesson about being still. The air held sound back. Even the crows, perched like black knots in the bare branches, did not call as often as birds should. Liam Fowler told himself it was just distance from the city. He told himself it was a gift. He had taken a new job restoring a set of old municipal buildings. Steady pay, benefits, the kind of work that let him use his hands and see progress by sundown. Their old apartment had been a hallway with windows. This new rental house had porches, a yard, and a view of a forest that looked endless if you did not stare too hard. Hannah loved the kitchen the moment she saw it. White enamel sink, tall windows, cupboards that smelled faintly of cedar and mouse droppings. She opened the windows, and cold air rolled in like a slow animal. It smelled of pine sap and wet stone. Their daughter, Macy, was 7 and fearless in the way only children can be. She ran from room to room claiming corners, as if the house was a fort she had won in battle. She found a stain on the upstairs landing that looked like a handprint and declared it a ghost. She was delighted. And then there was Jasper. Jasper was a dog who had already lived a whole life of being loved. A big mixed breed with an intelligent brow and soft amber eyes that made strangers talk to him as if he could answer. Jasper had one ear that never quite stood up, and he had a habit of placing his head on your knee when you were sad, like he could keep you from slipping off the edge. The moving truck pulled away. The last box thudded inside. The day faded early, the light draining into the trees. Liam stood on the porch and watched the road that cut through the woods like a scar. It was a 2-lane state route, fast despite the turns, and it ran close enough to the house that you could hear tires hiss over wet pavement. The landlord had mentioned it casually, as if it were a minor inconvenience. Folks drove too quick out here. Just keep an eye on the little one. Keep the dog on a lead. It was not until the second night that the silence gained teeth. A wind came through after midnight, not strong enough to shake the house, but persistent, pressing at the siding and whispering along the eaves. Liam woke, thinking someone was at the window. He lay still and listened. From the forest came a sound like a far-away dragging. Not branches scraping, not an animal moving through brush. Something heavier, slow and patient. It went on for a minute, stopped, then started again, as if the thing making it had paused to consider the best way to continue. Liam sat up. Hannah stirred beside him. Jasper lifted his head from the rug and stared at the bedroom door, ears cocked, his body rigid. Then there was nothing. The house settled. The silence returned to its arranged shape. In the morning, Liam told himself it was a falling limb in the night. An animal, frost splitting bark, anything that belonged to a normal world. They got on with it, days filled with unpacking. Hannah drove into town for groceries and learned quickly that the cashier at the market did not make eye contact for long. Liam met a neighbor while dragging brush to the curb, an older man named Corwin Pike, who lived down the road in a house that sat lower in the trees, as if it had sunk over the years. Corwin had a face made of weather, skin toughened by wind and cold, eyes pale, sharp, and restless. He watched Macy playing with Jasper in the yard and said, almost gently, "You are going to want to keep her far from that road." Liam smiled and nodded and said they were careful. Corwin looked past him into the forest. Careful is a word people say when they think it will be enough. Before Liam could ask what he meant, Corwin added, "If you ever hear something in the woods at night, do yourself a favor and stay in the house." Liam laughed a little, the polite laugh of someone trying to keep a conversation from turning strange. Corwin did not laugh back. He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a handful of dried, crumbled leaves, rubbed them between his fingers, and let them fall. The fragments spiraled down and vanished into the dead grass. He said, "The ground out here is old. It likes what it gets." Then he tipped his chin in a nod that ended the talk and walked back down the road without looking behind him. Hannah did not like Corwin. She said he looked like he slept in a coffin and spent his mornings thinking about funerals. Liam told her rural people were just blunt. He was trying to be responsible. He had a point about the road. Still, that night, Liam kept listening for the dragging sound. It did not come. Instead, they heard something else. Near 3 in the morning, Jasper began to growl. Not the throaty warning he gave when a delivery person approached the porch. Not the playful rumble he made while wrestling with Macy's stuffed animals. This was a low, steady vibration that seemed to come from deep inside him, like the sound belonged to something older than a pet. Liam rolled over and saw Jasper standing in the doorway of the bedroom, staring down the hall. Hannah whispered, "What is it?" Jasper's tail was down. His hackles rose like a ridge. From downstairs came a single soft sound, a tap like fingernail on glass. Then another, tap, tap. Liam swung his feet to the floor, heart banging. He reached for the baseball bat he kept beside the nightstand, a stupid comfort, a piece of sporting goods held like an oath. Tap. Macy's door creaked. Hannah sat up fully, her hand flying to Liam's arm. Liam stepped into the hall, lifted, Jasper pressing close to his leg like a shadow. He opened Macy's door. Macy was asleep, her hair spread across the pillow. One arm dangled off the bed. Her mouth was slightly open. She breathed evenly, undisturbed. The window was closed. The curtains did not move. Tap. Liam turned. The sound came from downstairs again. He backed away from Macy's room and shut the door quietly, as if he might wake the house itself. He edged toward the stairs. Jasper's growl intensified. Liam went down step by step. The air grew colder with each one, the temperature dropping as if the house had a basement full of winter. The living room was dark, except for a thin strip of moonlight on the floor. Liam scanned for shapes. The bat felt slick in his hands. Tap. It came from the front window. Liam stepped closer and saw nothing outside but the porch and the night beyond, a smear of shadow and tree trunks. Then the tap happened again, and he saw it, a small wet mark on the glass, right at the height of a child's forehead. Then a second mark, slightly lower, like the impression of a nose pressed briefly, then lifted. Liam's mouth went dry. He stared at the window. Outside, something moved. Not a person. Too low, too quick. It darted away from the porch and vanished into the yard. Jasper lunged forward, snarling now, and slammed his paws against the window. He barked with fury that sounded like panic. Liam yanked him back by the collar, murmuring, "It is nothing. It is nothing." But he did not believe himself. In the morning, the window was clean. No marks, no proof. Hannah suggested a raccoon. Liam said maybe. Macy announced it was the ghost handprint from the stairs coming to play. They laughed too loud. On the fourth day, the road took Jasper. It happened fast, in the way tragedy always does, like the world is impatient with your life. Liam had been in the garage sorting tools. Hannah was inside on a video call with her sister. Macy was in the yard drawing with chalk on the driveway, humming to herself. Jasper slipped out. It was nobody's fault in a way that felt worst of all. A package arrived. The front door opened. Jasper, curious and happy, trotted past a pair of distracted legs. He moved into the yard with the easy confidence of a dog who believed he belonged everywhere his family did. Macy called his name. Jasper looked back, tail wagging. The road was only a short run beyond the edge of the yard. A truck came around the bend, faster than it should have. Macy's chalk dropped. She screamed, "Jasper, no." Liam heard it, the scream, and then the sound that followed it. A dull impact that did not belong in daylight. By the time Liam reached the road, Jasper was already still. His body lay twisted on the gravel shoulder. One leg bent at an impossible angle. His fur was wet and dark in places, and Liam could not tell at first if it was blood or road water from melted frost. The truck was gone. No brakes, no apology. Hannah arrived seconds later. her face already crumpling, as if her body had known before her mind caught up. Macy ran to Jasper and dropped to her knees, small hands hovering over him, not touching at first, as if contact might make it real. Jasper's eyes were open but empty. His tongue lolled. Macy began to sob with a sound that was more animal than child. Liam stood there with his hands helpless at his sides and felt something in him split. They carried Jasper home, wrapped in an old quilt. Hannah laid him on the kitchen floor. She sat beside him and stroked his head until her fingers cramped. Macy refused to leave the room. Liam stood at the sink, staring out at the forest, watching the trees like they might offer him a solution. Corwin Pike came by just before dusk. Liam saw him walking up the driveway, slow, unhurried, as if he was arriving for a planned visit. For a moment, Liam wanted to throw the door open and demand how Corwin could show up now, like a vulture. But when Liam opened the door, Corwin's face was not triumphant. It was weary. He looked past Liam's shoulder and said softly, "I heard it." Liam swallowed. It happened so quick. Corwin nodded. "It does." He stepped inside without being invited. The house felt too small for him suddenly, as if he brought the woods in with him. He stopped in the kitchen doorway and looked down at Jasper's body. Macy glared at him through red, swollen eyes. "It is your road," she said, as if accusing him personally. Corwin did not defend himself. He looked at Liam. "There is a thing people do out here, sometimes," he said, "when they cannot bear the empty space." Hannah's head snapped up. "What thing?" Corwin hesitated. His gaze flicked to Macy. Maybe he had intended to speak to Liam alone. But grief rearranges manners. He said, "There is a place back in the woods. A path. Folks call it the Cairn Trail." Liam felt his stomach tighten. The dragging sound, the tap on the window, Corwin's warnings, pieces clicking into a shape he did not like. Hannah stood. Her voice was sharp. "Are you telling us to bury our dog in the woods?" Corwin met her stare. "I am telling you it is an option people have used. And I am telling you it is a bad idea." "Then why bring it up?" Liam demanded, anger rising, because it was easier than sorrow. Corwin's mouth twisted. "Because you are going to think of it anyway. I can see it in your eyes. And because if you go looking, you will find it. The woods make sure of that." Macy whispered, "Bring him back." Hannah turned to her. "Honey, no." Macy's face crumpled again. "Please, please bring him back." Liam felt his own mouth shape the words before he could stop them. "Is it real?" Corwin's eyes looked older than his face. "Real enough." Hannah shook her head hard, as if shaking might dislodge the thought. "That is insane. That is cruel. We bury him like normal people." Corwin nodded. "That is what you should do." But Macy's sobs filled the kitchen, and Liam could not get the image out of his mind of Jasper's empty eyes, of his warm weight leaning against Liam's leg after a hard day. Corwin spoke again, low. "The ground back there. It gives back what you put in, but it does not give it back right. Hannah said, then it is not him. Corwin's silence was an answer. That night, they buried Jasper in the small family plot behind the house, near a cluster of birches. Liam dug until his hands blistered. The earth was hard with frost. Each shovel strike sounded too loud. Macy insisted on placing Jasper's favorite tennis ball in the grave. Hannah tried to stop her, then gave up, tears running quietly. When they filled the hole, the mound looked wrong, too fresh, too high, like a secret. Liam stood over it until the moon rose, and his breath smoked in the cold air. He listened. The forest was silent, except far away, a sound like dragging. Liam woke before dawn to a scratch at the back door. He sat up in bed, heart racing. Hannah murmured beside him, half asleep. Jasper's rug was empty. Another scratch, slow, patient. Liam went downstairs barefoot, the wood floor cold enough to sting. He opened the back door. Jasper stood there. For a second, Liam's mind refused to accept it. He saw the outline, the familiar size, the droop of the one ear. Then he saw the things that did not belong. Jasper's fur was matted with soil. His paws were caked in mud and bits of dead leaf. His belly was smeared dark. One of his eyes looked cloudy, as if a film had grown over it. His mouth hung slightly open, and the tongue inside looked too dark, almost purple. And the smell, it was not the normal dog smell of warm fur and outdoor adventures. It was damp rot. Earth that has held something too long, like a cellar with old potatoes forgotten in a corner. Jasper wagged his tail, but it was stiff, the motion not quite right, like a puppet's attempt at joy. Liam's throat tightened. Jasper. The dog stepped forward. His nails clicked on the floor. Behind Liam, Macy's small voice came from the stairs, excited and hopeful. Jasper. She ran down in her pajamas and flung herself at him. Liam reached out too late. He tried to grab her shoulders, pull her back, warn her without knowing what he was warning against. Macy hugged Jasper. Jasper did not lick her face. He did not whine with happiness. He stood still, head lowered, eyes fixed on something past her. Then he moved. His head snapped sideways fast, and he clamped his jaws on the fabric of her sleeve, teeth catching not just cloth, but skin. Macy screamed. Liam grabbed Jasper's collar and yanked. Jasper released with a sound like wet suction. Macy stumbled back, clutching her arm. Blood seeped through her pajama sleeve. Hannah came running, hair wild, eyes wide. What happened? Jasper's tail wagged once. His mouth opened slightly, and a string of dark saliva stretched and broke. Liam's voice came out raw. Do not touch him. Macy stared at Jasper in confusion and betrayal. Jasper. The dog looked at her, and in that cloudy eye, Liam saw something that was not love. It was hunger. They put Jasper outside and latched the door. Jasper did not bark. He sat on the porch, perfectly still, watching the house as if waiting for a signal. Hannah cleaned Macy's bite and tried not to panic. It was not deep, but it was wrong. The skin around it looked bruised already, darkening too fast. Macy said it stung like ice. Liam called the vet in town and stammered out a story that sounded insane even as he spoke it. The vet told him to bring the dog in immediately and to bring the child to urgent care for antibiotics. They loaded Macy into the car with Hannah. Liam went back to the porch to leash Jasper. The porch was empty. The yard was empty. The woods beyond the birches waited. Liam searched for hours. He found no tracks, no fur, no sign. It was as if Jasper had never existed. At urgent care, the doctor cleaned the wound again and frowned. He said the bite looked infected already. He prescribed antibiotics and warned them to watch for fever. Macy sat quietly, unusually subdued. When Hannah asked how she felt, Macy said, "Cold." That night, Macy ran a fever. She slept fitfully, twitching. Liam sat by her bed and listened to her breathing. Hannah dozed in a chair, her face drawn tight, even in sleep. At midnight, Macy sat up suddenly and stared at the corner of her room. Liam leaned forward. "Sweetie." Macy whispered, "He is outside." Liam's skin prickled. "Who?" Macy's eyes were glassy with fever. "Jasper." Liam stood and went to the window. The yard was washed in moonlight. The birches cast long shadows. The mound of Jasper's grave was flattened, disturbed. Something moved near it. Liam's breath hitched. Jasper's shape stood by the grave, half in shadow, head lowered as if sniffing. Then the dog raised his head and looked directly at the window. Liam stepped back, heart pounding. Jasper began to walk toward the house. Slow, steady, like he knew they could not run forever. Liam locked the windows. He checked the doors. He told himself it was a sick mind seeing shapes in darkness. Then came the tapping. Tap, tap, from the living room window. Hannah woke with a gasp. "What is that?" Liam swallowed. "Stay with Macy." He went downstairs with the bat again, ridiculous and desperate. Tap. The mark appeared on the glass, wet and dark. Then a smear, like a tongue dragged across it. Liam's stomach rolled. Outside, Jasper's face pressed close, his cloudy eye staring in. Tap. Jasper's paw hit the glass. Not scratching, just tapping, patient. His mouth opened and closed, as if chewing something invisible. Liam shouted, "Go away." Jasper's head tilted slightly. The ear that used to droop hung wrong, as if the cartilage had softened. Then Jasper turned and trotted off into the yard, vanishing into shadow with the ease of a thing that belonged to night. Liam went back upstairs shaking. Macy's fever broke by morning, but she looked paler than before. Her skin had a faint gray cast. Her bite wound oozed slightly despite the antibiotics, and the bruise around it had spread like spilled ink. Hannah insisted they leave. She said they could not stay here. The house was wrong. The woods were wrong. The road was wrong. Liam wanted to agree. He wanted to pack boxes and drive until the trees thinned and the air felt normal. But then Macy asked, "Where is Jasper now?" And Liam did not know how to tell her that the thing outside might still be their dog, and might also be something else wearing his shape. They did not leave. Grief does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers reasons to stay. Sometimes it says, "Wait, maybe it will get better. Maybe it was a fluke. Maybe you can fix it." 2 days passed without seeing Jasper. The tapping did not return. The house settled into something that almost felt like normal again. Macy's arm seemed to heal, though the skin around the bite remained strangely cold to the touch. On the 3rd evening, Liam came home from town with groceries and found the back door standing open. His stomach dropped. Hannah called from the kitchen, voice tight, "Liam." He stepped inside. Jasper stood in the middle of the kitchen. He looked cleaner, as if rain had washed some of the dirt away. But the smell was worse. Sweet rot, like fruit left too long. His cloudy eye had spread, a milky film covering most of it. His other eye shone too bright, reflecting light in a way that did not look like an animal. Macy stood a few feet away, frozen. Jasper's tail moved, stiff wagging. Hannah held a knife in her hand, trembling. How did he get in? Liam swallowed the door. Jasper took a step toward Macy. Liam moved between them. No. Jasper's lips curled back slightly. Not a snarl, something stranger. Like a grin that did not fit his face. Then Jasper turned his head and looked at Hannah, and he made a sound. It was not a bark, not a growl. It was a low exhale that almost formed a word. Hannah's eyes widened. Did you hear that? Liam felt cold wash over him. Yes. Jasper moved again, not lunging, just walking, circling Liam with deliberate calm. Macy whispered, "Jasper is back." Liam said, "That is not Jasper." Macy's face twisted. "Do not say that." Jasper stopped behind Liam, close enough that Liam felt the damp heat of his breath on the back of his neck. The breath smelled like grave soil. Liam swung the bat without thinking, a reflex, an animal reaction. The bat struck Jasper's shoulder with a sickening thud. Jasper yelped, but the sound was wrong, pitched too high, too human, like a person imitating pain. Jasper staggered, then steadied. He looked at Liam with that too bright eye. Then, calmly, Jasper walked out of the kitchen and into the hallway. Liam chased him, bat raised, but Jasper vanished around the corner. Liam heard the dog's nails on the stairs. Then silence. Liam ran upstairs. Macy's bedroom door was open. The room was empty. The window was open. The curtains fluttered. Outside in the fading light, Jasper was already at the edge of the woods, moving fast. And in his mouth, limp and small, was Macy's stuffed rabbit. Not Macy, but the message was clear. I can take what matters. I can come and go. I can reach you anywhere. That night, they barricaded the doors. They kept Macy between them in their bed. Hannah held Macy's hand all night. Liam did not sleep. In the early hours, Macy sat up again, eyes wide. Liam whispered, "What?" Macy said, "He is calling." From outside, far away, came a sound like a dog whining. Soft, sad, familiar. Macy began to cry. Jasper is hurt. He wants help. Hannah clamped a hand over Macy's mouth gently but firmly. No, no. Macy struggled. Please. The whining continued, threaded with something else. A sound like a child's laugh carried on wind. Liam felt his spine tighten. It was bait. It was not real. Then came a scratch at the front door. Slow, patient. Hannah whispered, "Do not open it." Macy's voice broke. "He is my dog." The scratch became a tap. Tap, tap, as if asking to be let in politely. Liam's eyes burned with exhaustion. He stared at the bedroom door, imagining Jasper sitting outside like he had before, watching, waiting. Tap, a faint voice, thin as a breath, came through the house, not from any one place, but everywhere at once. Macy, Hannah gasped. Liam froze. The voice sounded like Macy, but distant, wrong, stretched. Macy began to sob harder. "That is me. That is me." Liam grabbed her shoulders. "Listen to me. That is not you." The voice came again, slightly louder. "Come outside." Macy's body relaxed, as if soothed. She swung her legs off the bed. Hannah grabbed her. "No." Macy jerked away with surprising strength and said, "Let go." Her tone was not hers. It was flat, cold. Liam's heart hammered. "Macy, stop." Macy stared at him. Her eyes looked darker than normal, as if the pupils had widened and refused to shrink. Then she lay back down, calm again, and fell asleep within seconds. The tapping stopped. In the morning, Hannah said they were leaving. Today, no excuses. Liam agreed. He loaded the car while Hannah packed bags. Macy sat on the couch, staring at nothing, her stuffed rabbit in her lap. She did not protest leaving. That scared Liam more than if she had begged to stay. When the last bag was loaded, Hannah strapped Macy into the back seat. Macy stared straight ahead, silent. Liam walked around to the driver's side. He heard a sound behind him, a soft panting. He turned. Jasper stood at the edge of the yard, half hidden by the birches. He looked thinner, as if the world had eaten parts of him. His fur hung in clumps. One side of his face seemed to sag slightly. His cloudy eye was fully white now. His other eye shone like a coin. In his mouth, he held something. A small shoe. Macy's shoe. Liam's blood went cold. Hannah called from the car. "Liam, hurry." Liam forced his legs to move. He got in. He slammed the door. He started the engine. In the rearview mirror, he saw Jasper begin to trot toward the road. No, Liam whispered. He backed out fast, gravel spraying. And then, like the world had been waiting for the cue, a car came around the bend. Fast, too fast. Hannah screamed. Liam hit the brakes. The other car swerved. Tires shrieked. Metal screamed. The impact was thunder. Liam's car spun. The world became flashing trees and glass and the taste of blood. Then everything stopped. For a moment, there was only the ticking of the engine and Hannah's ragged breathing. Liam blinked, dazed. Hannah was slumped against her seatbelt, blood on her forehead. Her eyes were open, unfocused. Macy, Liam croaked, twisting to look back. The back seat was crushed inward on one side. The window was shattered. Macy's seatbelt was still buckled, but Macy was gone. Liam's mind refused it. He fumbled with his own belt and shoved the door open. Pain exploded in his ribs. He stumbled around to the back. The door hung twisted. Empty seat. No child. Hannah made a small sound, like a question. Where is she? Liam turned in circles, frantic, scanning the road, the ditch, the woods. Then he saw it. A trail of small footprints in the frost, leading away from the crash, toward the birches. Barefoot prints, Macy's prints, and beside them, deeper marks of paws. Jasper, Liam ran, ignoring pain. He followed the tracks into the woods. The forest swallowed him within seconds. The light dimmed. The air grew colder. Every sound became muffled, as if the trees were draping blankets over the world. He called Macy. No answer. He kept running. The footprints led to a narrow path he had not noticed before. A corridor between trees where the underbrush was pressed down, as if many feet had passed there. Stones lined the trail in stacks, little cairns, each one carefully balanced, each one looking like a marker for something buried. Liam slowed, breath heaving. The path seemed to pull him forward. The footprints continued. He followed them until the trees opened into a clearing. In the center of the clearing was a mound of earth, old and sunken, covered in dead leaves and moss. It looked like a grave that had been breathing for decades. Jasper stood beside it. Macy stood in front of Jasper. She was barefoot, hair wild, face blank. Liam stepped forward. Macy. Macy turned slowly. Her eyes looked wrong, not just scared, not just shocked. Wrong like something else was behind them, wearing her gaze like a mask. She said, "Hi, Daddy." Liam's throat closed. "Come here, please, come to me." Macy smiled slightly. Jasper pressed close behind her, his head near her shoulder, like a guardian. Macy said, "He brought me." Liam whispered, "Jasper hurt you." Macy shook her head, slow. "He saved me. He said you were leaving him. He said you were going to forget him. He said you were going to bury him and pretend he never mattered." Liam's eyes burned. "That is not true." Macy lifted her cold, bitten arm and touched the bruise. The skin was grayish, the veins dark. She said, The ground likes gifts. Liam took a step closer, hands out, palms open. Jasper's lip curled. Macy said, "Do not come closer. He does not like you now." Liam's voice broke. "Macy, please. Your mom is hurt. We need to go." Macy's smile widened. "We are going to stay. He says staying is better." Liam's mind raced. He could grab her and run. He could swing the bat. He had no bat. He had nothing but his hands and his love, and love felt flimsy out here. He took another step. Jasper lunged. Liam barely managed to twist away. Jasper's jaws snapped where Liam's wrist had been. The dog's teeth clicked together with a wet sound. Liam stumbled back, heart pounding. Macy laughed. It was Macy's laugh, but not with joy. It sounded like someone testing a sound to see how it fit. Liam whispered, "What are you doing?" Macy said, "The ground gives back." It gave Jasper back. It can give back other things too. Liam felt the clearing tilt. Other things. He thought of Hannah bleeding in the car. He thought of the blank stare in her eyes. Macy stepped toward the mound. Jasper followed. Macy looked back at Liam and said, "You can have her back too." Liam shook his head, horror rising. "No." Macy's face hardened. "Then you will lose her." Jasper growled, low and steady. Liam backed away, realizing too late that the path behind him was not just a path. It was a funnel, a throat. He ran. Branches whipped his face. He burst out of the woods and onto the road near the crash site. The other driver was gone. The other car was gone. As if the accident had been erased. His car was still there, twisted, steam rising. Hannah was slumped in the passenger seat, unmoving. Liam yanked the door open. "Hannah." Her eyes fluttered. She whispered, "Macy." Liam choked. "She is in the woods." Hannah's voice was weak, confused. "We have to go." Liam looked at her injuries. He could not carry her far. He could not leave her either. Then he heard footsteps. Slow, soft. From the tree line. Macy stepped out of the woods. Barefoot, calm. Jasper walked beside her like a shadow. Hannah's eyes widened. "Macy." Macy smiled at her mother. "Hi, Mommy." Hannah reached out with trembling hands. "Baby, come here." Macy came closer. Liam's whole body screamed to grab Macy, to run, to fight, to do anything. But he stayed frozen, watching his daughter's face, trying to find the child he knew in it. Macy climbed into the back seat with careful movements, as if she was imitating someone getting into a car. She sat. She buckled the seatbelt. Then she leaned forward between the seats. Her breath smelled faintly of soil. She whispered to Hannah, "You can come back too if you want." Hannah blinked. "What?" Macy tilted her head. "The ground gives back, but it needs you first." Liam shouted, "Stop." Macy's eyes snapped to him, and in them, Liam saw the clearing again, the old mound, the patient hunger of earth. Macy smiled. Then she opened the car door on her side and stepped out. Liam turned to see what she was doing. He saw Jasper. Jasper was at the driver's door now, close, too close. Jasper's head lowered. Then he lunged into the open door and clamped his jaws onto Hannah's arm. Hannah screamed, a thin sound of pure terror. Liam grabbed Jasper's collar and pulled. Jasper held on, shaking his head like a predator. Hannah's blood sprayed across the seat. Macy stood outside the car watching, expression calm. Liam punched Jasper, hit him with his elbow, shoved fingers into the dog's mouth. Jasper's teeth cut Liam's hand. Pain flared. Jasper finally released with a wet tear. Hannah collapsed, gasping, face white. Liam slammed the door, locking it out of instinct, as if locks mattered. Macy tapped on the window with her fingertip. Tap, tap. Hannah stared at her daughter through the glass, sobbing. Macy, what is happening? Macy pressed her forehead to the window. A wet mark bloomed. She whispered, "It is better this way." Liam grabbed his keys and started the engine with shaking hands. The car groaned. The front end was damaged. One wheel turned wrong. He tried anyway. The engine coughed, sputtered, and died. Hannah sobbed, clutching her bleeding arm. Macy smiled and stepped back. Jasper trotted to the front of the car and sat in the road like a sentry. He stared at Liam, unblinking. Liam realized then that they were not leaving. The woods had taken the choice. Hours passed in a haze of fear. Liam tried calling for help, but his phone had no signal. Hannah drifted in and out, her skin clammy, blood loss making her eyes glassy. Macy sat on the hood of the car, swinging her legs, humming a tune Liam did not recognize. Jasper prowled around them in slow circles, sniffing the air, pausing to stare into the woods as if listening to something. When the sun began to set, the forest seemed to lean closer. The silence returned, heavy and arranged. Liam climbed out carefully, hands raised, trying to speak to Macy as if she was still his child. "Macy, please, let us go, please." Macy looked at him with mild curiosity, like he was a stranger asking directions. She said, "Why are you begging? You could fix it." "Fix what?" Macy nodded toward Hannah. "You could bury her. The ground would give her back." Liam felt nausea twist. "No, I am not burying my wife." Macy's smile faded. "Then she will die." Liam's voice broke. "She needs a doctor." Macy said, "The ground is a doctor." Jasper growled softly, as if amused. Liam backed away, tears hot on his cheeks. He looked at Hannah and saw the truth. Hannah might not make it through the night. He looked at Macy and saw his daughter's face, and behind it, something that had slipped into her through a dog's teeth, through a path of stones, through grief's open door. He realized Corwin Pike had been right. Careful was not enough. The woods had a taste now, and it would not stop. Night fell. Fog rolled in from the low places, thickening around the road. The trees became pillars in a gray void. Macy came to the passenger door and opened it. Hannah did not resist. She was too weak, too dazed. Liam tried to stop her. He grabbed Macy's arm. Macy's skin was cold. Macy turned her head slowly and looked at him. Her voice came out low, not childlike at all. "You hurt him." Liam whispered, "I tried to protect you." Macy smiled. "You failed." Then she pulled away with unnatural strength and stepped back. Jasper appeared at Liam's side like he had been summoned. He nudged Liam hard, pushing him away from the car. Liam stumbled, almost fell. Macy guided Hannah out of the passenger seat and toward the woods. Hannah whispered, "Liam." Liam tried to follow. Jasper blocked him, teeth bared. Liam grabbed a rock from the roadside and threw it at Jasper. It hit Jasper's side. Jasper barely flinched. Jasper moved forward, slow, confident. Liam swung his fists, struck Jasper's skull. It felt like hitting damp wood. Jasper bit Liam's shoulder. Pain exploded. Liam screamed. He fell back. Jasper did not tear. He held Liam down, pinning him with weight and teeth, like a hunter keeping prey alive to watch what comes next. Through the fog, Liam saw Hannah being led into the woods by his daughter, a small silhouette guiding a larger one, like death guiding life. Liam's tears mixed with blood. He struggled, but Jasper's jaws tightened. Then Jasper released and stepped back, as if satisfied. Liam scrambled up and ran into the woods, stumbling, half blind. The cairn path appeared beneath his feet, without him meaning to find it. Stones lining the way like a welcome. He ran until he burst into the clearing. The mound waited. Hannah lay at its edge, eyes half open. Macy stood beside her, hands folded, patient. Jasper walked into the clearing behind Liam and sat, watching. Liam fell to his knees beside Hannah. "Hannah, I am here." Hannah's lips moved. Her eyes found his. She whispered, "She is not our girl." Liam sobbed, "I know." Hannah's hand found his cheek, weak and trembling. "Do not do it," she whispered. "Do not bury me." Macy said, "She is asking because she is afraid." Liam looked up at his daughter's face, the wrong thing inside it. Liam whispered, "What are you?" Macy smiled, "A gift." The wind moved through the clearing, carrying the scent of earth and rot. The silence pressed down. Liam looked at the mound. He imagined Hannah gone, the world hollow. He imagined her coming back, smiling, walking, talking. He imagined the smell, the coldness, the tapping. He imagined a second wrongness in the house, joining the first. He looked at Hannah's eyes and saw her pleading, her fear. Liam shook his head violently. "No, I will not." Macy's expression hardened. "Then you will be alone." Jasper rose. Liam grabbed Hannah, tried to lift her, tried to drag her away. Hannah cried out in pain. Liam nearly dropped her. Jasper lunged, not at Liam this time, but at Hannah. Liam screamed and tried to shield her. Jasper's teeth sank into Hannah's throat. Hannah's eyes widened. A sound came out, wet and shocked. Liam's mind shattered. He beat Jasper with his fists, pulled at him, screamed until his voice tore. Jasper held on until the life left Hannah's eyes. Then Jasper released, stepping back, his muzzle slick. Hannah lay still. Liam collapsed over her, sobbing, shaking. Macy watched calmly. She said, "Now you can bury her." Liam lifted his head. His face was wet with blood and tears. His voice came out as a rasp. "I would rather die." Macy tilted her head. "That can be arranged too." The fog thickened. The trees around the clearing seemed closer. Liam heard the dragging sound again, nearer now, not from the forest, but from beneath, from the ground itself, as if something under the mound was shifting. Liam looked at Hannah's body. Grief opened in him like a door. He thought of the house. He thought of mornings and laughter. He thought of Hannah's hands in flour. He thought of Macy's first day of school. He thought of Jasper's head on his knee. He thought of all the empty space. His mind whispered, "Fix it." He crawled to the mound and began to dig with his hands. The soil was loose, almost eager. It gave way easily, as if it had been waiting for this. Macy smiled. Jasper sat and watched. Liam dug until his nails tore and his fingers bled. He dug like a man trying to reach air. Then he stopped. He looked at the hole he had made and felt something in it. A cold draft like breath from below. The ground smelled sweet and rotten. He looked at Hannah. Hannah's eyes were open, staring at the sky. Liam whispered, "Forgive me." He dragged her toward the hole. Macy stepped closer, almost tender. "That is good," she said. "The ground will make her better." Liam lowered Hannah into the hole, hands shaking. As soon as her body touched the earth, the air changed. The temperature dropped. A faint vibration ran through the ground like a purr. Liam began to push dirt back in. He worked fast, frantic, as if speed could make it mercy. When the hole was filled, Liam sat back on his heels, panting. Macy said softly, "Wait." They waited. The silence in the clearing thickened until Liam could hear his own heartbeat. Then the mound moved, a slow swelling, like a chest drawing breath. Dirt slid. A hand emerged. Hannah's hand. It clawed at the soil with stiff fingers, pulling. Liam's stomach heaved. The hand rose, then the arm, then the shoulder. Hannah's head broke through the dirt. Hair matted, face smeared dark. Her eyes opened. They were not Hannah's eyes. They were too wide, too empty, reflecting the dim light like glass marbles. Hannah inhaled. The sound was wet, like lungs filling with mud. She turned her head and looked at Liam. Then she smiled. Her teeth were dark with soil. She said, "Liam." Her voice was Hannah's voice, but something under it was wrong. A hollow echo, like hearing someone speak through a pipe buried underground. Liam began to sob, relief and horror tangled. Hannah pushed herself up, soil sliding off her shoulders. She stood slowly, joints stiff, then steadier. She stepped toward Liam. Liam backed away instinctively. Hannah's smile widened. Macy clapped her hands once, delighted. Jasper wagged his stiff tail. Hannah leaned down and touched Liam's cheek with a cold, dirty hand. Liam flinched. Hannah whispered, "Why did you wait so long?" Liam stammered, "Hannah, I am sorry." Hannah's head tilted. "You should have buried her too." Liam froze her. Hannah's gaze shifted to Macy with a look that might have been affection if it had not been so hungry. Macy smiled back. Then Macy turned to Liam, voice gentle. "Now we go home." Liam's mind screamed to run, but his body felt heavy, as if the forest had poured syrup into his veins. He stumbled after them, like a man walking in a dream he could not wake from. They moved along the cairn path back toward the road. The stones seemed to watch. When they reached the crash site, the fog had swallowed most of it. The twisted car sat like a carcass. Macy climbed into the back seat as if nothing had happened. Hannah climbed into the passenger seat with jerky grace, dirt still falling from her hair. Jasper jumped into the trunk space as if he belonged there. Liam sat in the driver's seat and stared at the dead engine. Hannah leaned close to his ear and whispered, "It will start now." Liam's hands shook as he turned the key. The engine roared to life instantly, smooth, eager. Liam sobbed, a sound of pure defeat. He drove back to the house because the road only went one way, and because he could not imagine any road that would take him away from what the woods had planted in his family. The house greeted them with dark windows. Inside, the air was cold. Macy went upstairs humming. Hannah went to the kitchen and stood at the sink, staring out at the forest as if remembering something. Jasper padded through the house, sniffing corners, leaving damp prints. Liam sat on the couch, trembling. He looked around at the familiar furniture, the unpacked boxes, the small, normal objects that now felt like props in a set. He whispered, "What do you want?" Hannah turned slowly. She looked at him with those two wide eyes. She said, "We want what you owe." Liam swallowed. "I buried you." Hannah smiled. "You buried me because you could not bear to lose me. That is not paying. That is taking." Upstairs, Macy began to sing softly, a lullaby Liam had sung to her when she was 3. The notes drifted down the stairs like smoke. Liam's eyes filled. "Macy." Macy's voice floated back, sweet. "Come up, Daddy. We want to show you something." Liam stood, shaking. He climbed the stairs, as if walking toward the gallows. At the top, Macy stood by her bedroom door. She opened it. Inside, the room was darker than it should have been. The window was open again. Cold air spilled in. On the floor was Macy's stuffed rabbit, torn open, stuffing scattered like snow. In the corner, stacked neatly, were little cairns of stones, small hands having built them. Macy smiled. "Do you like it?" Liam whispered, "Stop this." Macy stepped closer. Her face was inches from his. Her breath was cold. She said, "You left him in the ground." Liam's throat tightened. Jasper came back. Macy's eyes narrowed. "But he is not right. He wants more. The ground wants more. It is hungry." Liam's voice broke. "I did not know." Macy reached up and touched Liam's cheek with small cold fingers. She said, "The ground chose us. Now we feed it." Behind Liam, footsteps climbed the stairs. Hannah appeared in the hallway. Jasper padded beside her. They surrounded him with calm patience, like people about to do something necessary. Liam backed toward the open window, heart pounding. Hannah said softly, "Do not be afraid." Liam choked out a laugh. "How can I not be?" Hannah's smile was terrible. "Because you will come back." Liam's mind flashed with images of himself clawing out of soil. Eyes too wide, smile wrong. He shook his head violently. "No." Macy said, "Yes." Jasper growled, low and eager. Liam's heel hit the windowsill. Cold air wrapped him. He looked down. The drop was not too far. He could jump. He could run. He could keep running until his lungs burst. He moved, ready to leap. Macy's hand shot out and grabbed his wrist. Her grip was iron. Liam stared at her in shock. She smiled gently, almost sadly. She said, "Daddy, we already have you." Then she pushed. Liam fell backward out the window. The world became cold air and spinning trees. He hit the ground hard. Pain erupted, white hot. His breath left him. Above, the window framed 3 silhouettes. Macy leaned out and looked down. Hannah stood behind her, still watching. Jasper's head appeared, tongue lolling darkly. Macy called softly, "Are you ready to come back?" Liam tried to move. His leg did not respond. He tasted blood. He looked toward the road, toward the forest, toward anywhere that was not here. But the yard felt like a bowl, and the house like a lid. The woods seemed closer now, the path already forming beneath the trees, stones waiting to guide him. He heard the dragging sound again. Closer. From behind him, Liam turned his head with effort. Corwin Pike stood at the edge of the yard. His face was gray. His eyes were wet. He held a shovel. Liam tried to speak, to plead. Corwin whispered, "I tried to warn you." Liam's voice came out thin. "Help me." Corwin looked up at the window where Macy watched like a little queen. He looked at Jasper. He looked at Hannah. His hands tightened on the shovel. Then, with a shaking breath, Corwin stepped forward. Liam's heart surged with hope. Corwin stopped beside Liam and knelt. He whispered, "The only help I can give you now is to make it quick." Liam's eyes widened in terror. "No." Corwin's face crumpled. "I am sorry. If you run, they will bring you back anyway. And next time, you will not be you at all." Liam began to sob, a broken sound. Corwin lifted the shovel. From upstairs, Macy laughed softly, delighted. And the last thing Liam saw before the world went dark was the open window, the faces of his family framed by night, and beyond them the forest, waiting like a mouth. Somewhere in the distance, a car passed on the road too fast, tires hissing, unaware. The silence of Ludlow settled again, arranged, patient, hungry, and when dawn came, the yard would look almost normal if you did not notice the disturbed earth near the birches, the fresh mound back in the woods, and the small stones stacked in neat little cairns along a path that seemed to appear only when grief needed directions. In the house, a child would sit at the kitchen table humming, feet not quite touching the floor. A woman would stand at the sink, staring into the trees, smiling softly, as if listening to a voice beneath the earth. A dog would lie on a rug that still smelled faintly of rot, eyes too bright in the dim light, tail thumping in slow, stiff beats. And somewhere under the soil, something would stretch and wake, because the ground likes what it gets, and it always wants more. If you made it to the end, thank you for listening. If this story got under your skin, consider subscribing for more, like the video, and leave a comment. Good night.
Whispers of a love so true, painting dreams of me and you. And I'll hold you close in this moment so divine. Whispers of